If you are new to Excel and you are wondering what are the key formulas that you need to know in order to start on Excel, well, this lesson is for you. Also, I have a playlist of 60 plus most used formulas in Excel. I'm going to put a link in the description so you can have a look at this after seeing this video. So let's start. Here I have some salespeople and I have some sales numbers. If I want to sum a couple of numbers, I go to the cell and I write equal, then I select a cell either with the mouse or with the arrows of the keyboard. So this is with the arrows of the keyboard. Then I do plus, I select another cell and I press enter. And as you can see, you get the sum. If you want to do a subtraction, you can, for example, go to the formula bar and then do minus, select a third number, press enter, and you'll get the subtraction. You can also do divisions and multiplications. So for divisions, you do equal, you select one number, and then you select the divide on the keyboard, you select the second number, press enter, this is a division, and multiplication, if I select the first number, I need to use the asterisk, not the X on the keyboard. And then I select another number, and there you go. You can also use parentheses. So for example, if I go here on the formula bar and I put a parenthesis before this and then one after this, and then I do a plus and I add 75, so it's going to do C3 over C4, you'll get a number, and then it will add C5 to it. I press enter, I get my number. Another thing that is useful for formulas is that if you go to formula, you have evaluate formula. And this is important when you have a very complicated formula and you want to check what has happened. So if I click here, you see I have my formula. So I do evaluate. You can see I get the first number here, 78. I press evaluate another time, 71 is there. Another time, which means that this got done before the plus C5, and then I have C5 plus 75 and you get 76. So here you can see step by step what happened to your formula. If you want to sum all those numbers here, it's going to be cumbersome if you use the plus sign. So this is where the formulas or the functions in Excel are important because they have already wrote some programs to do the work for you. So for example, if I use the sum formula, it will be as if I put all these numbers and I sum them one by one with a plus sign. So if we come here at the bottom, we can write equal sum, then I open the parenthesis, I select my range with the mouse, or you could also use the keyboard. So if you use the keyboard, you can just go to the first cell and then you press shift, and then with the arrow you start selecting the rest. Then you close the parenthesis, enter, and you get the sum. Another useful thing you could do is selecting these numbers, and you look here at the bottom and you can see the sum, the average, and the count of numbers. Now the sum is a very popular formula, so you can find it in a lot of places. If I delete this, I can go to formulas. There is this Autosum. If I click here, you can see I have sum. So if I click on sum, Excel does the work for me. It has selected the right numbers. So I can just press enter and then it will work. Now if I delete this and I put here 5, I can do this horizontally. So I go to Autosum, I press, it will take those two numbers, I do enter. So if I delete this and I go, there is a shortcut. Some of you might have seen it here. It is Alt plus. So let's go here and do Alt and then plus. As you can see, I get the formula again. And finally, the last way to get the formula is by going to Home, and then you have this, and you have the sum, and then you have enter. Another important formula we could use is the average. So I can go here, and I can press here, and then I get average. So if I click, you can see that the range is a bit wrong. So it took all these numbers and this one. I don't want this one. So how to fix this? Well, I can just go here on the formula bar. I select this range, I remove it, and then I can select this range, press enter, and you get the average. So this is the sum, this is the average. Another formula that is important is the count. So count, it counts the number of data points. If I do equal count, I can do open parenthesis, and then I can select my range. I close the parenthesis, I do enter. I have 9 numbers. So if I remove one of the numbers, you can see that now I get 8 numbers, and all the formulas that I have are dynamic. So anything I do, you can see that my sum has changed, my average has changed, everything has changed. Let's do Ctrl Z to bring back the number and get back this. Now you need to know that count only works on numbers. So if I come here, I do count, and then I open the parentheses, I select this, I'm gonna get 0. So to count text, what you need to use is a different count formula. So if I start typing count here, you see Excel is giving me all the counts that are there, and it's explaining to me what each formula does. So for example, if I look at this one, it counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. So that could work. So I'm going to select it, I double click, and then I select this, I close the parentheses, enter, you get 9. Here, for example, if Henry is gone, I get 8. But if I have a number, it's going to also count the number. So be careful with the count formula. You need to know how it works. But this is how to count text. A couple of important formulas also are min and max. So min and max. So if I want to know the minimum of a set of number, I can write min, open parentheses, I select the numbers, and then enter. For max it's the same. I do max, open parentheses, I select this, and then I close the brackets or the parentheses, and then I get 92. Lastly, if you're not very familiar with formulas, for example, I want to sum the sales of everybody called Fred. So how to do this? Well, you can do, for example, sum, and then you have several options. You have, for example, SUMIF, adds the cell specified by a given condition or criteria. So you can select this one by double clicking. Now assume you don't know how it works. So you can click here on this function, and then it will give you more details. So here, for example, I have the range. The range is the range of cells you want evaluated. So I can click here and I can select my range, and then I have my criteria, right? So what is my criteria? It is the condition or criteria in the form of a number, expression, or text that defines which cells will be added. So for example, here I want Fred. So I type Fred, and then I go to the next. If you noticed here, Fred got put in double quotation mark because in a formula, when you're referring to text, you need to add those double quotation marks. And then the sum range are the actual cells to sum. So we click here and we put this range. Then we say, okay, the formula has been written for us. And then you have this 64, which is just one record. So it just summed this and gave me 64. The last thing I wanted to show you is that when you are typing a formula to save time, you can use the tab. So for example, let's assume I'm writing a formula called VLOOKUP. So I wrote VL. If I press on tab, you can see that the formula is coming for me with the parentheses open. So obviously I can type it full, but this will save me a bit of time. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, please, if you didn't subscribe to the channel and you want to see more videos like this, please do, and have a look at my formula playlist for more formulas.